You've been lied to. Again. And this time, it's by PBS and NPR. Their CEOs just testified before Congress, trying to convince America they're unbiased. But let's be real. They're propaganda machines, funded by your tax dollars. NPR buried the Hunter Biden laptop story, calling it a distraction, until it turned out to be 100% real. PBS pushes partisan narratives while ignoring real journalism. Their staff, overwhelmingly Democrat. And now, when confronted, NPR CEO admits they could have done better. No accountability, just excuses. Decades ago, PBS and NPR had a purpose. With only 3 major networks, public broadcasting ensured access to quality programming, especially in rural areas. But that world is gone. We have unlimited access to news for free. There's no reason taxpayers should fund media outlets that openly lie. And for those worried about Sesame Street, relax. It's a billion-dollar franchise. It doesn't need public funding. So let's stop pretending PBS and NPR are essential. They're partisan mouthpieces, and the American people should not be forced to pay for their own indoctrination.
Facts. We should not be forced to pay for our own indoctrination. And if you guys haven't heard, well, here you go.
So late last night, President Trump signed an executive order to eliminate federal taxpayer funding for NPR and PBS. The broadcasters get about $500 million in your public taxpayer money. Kim Strassel is a member of the Wall Street Journal editorial board and a Fox News contributor. Kim, welcome this morning.
Hi, Shannon. How are you? Hi, Bill.
I'm good. I got to tell you, one of the first things that landed in my inbox was from the Free Press. They say this democracy is on life support. They say this is a page 1 out of the authoritarian playbook. What do you make of the cuts?
Well, look, the CPB, this has been something that people have had a very hard time justifying for a long time. And the conservative complaint with it is often that it is biased, and the president certainly expressed that view, and you can certainly think that it's pretty obvious. But there's other, even bigger reasons why you would get rid of these programs. One is, look, the rationale when PBS was created was that it was for more choice, because there were only 3 network televisions at the time, so this was a 4th. But as we all know, there are hundreds of stations you can choose from these days. Do you know that there are 15,000 AM and FM commercial radio stations and 4 million registered podcasts? So that's not a problem anymore. Also, the demographic. There was an advertising firm that did an analysis of PBS viewers and pointed out that the average person there that watches PBS is a woman in her 30s or 40s who owns a home, takes an average of 3 vacations a year, and has a postgraduate degree. And I think a lot of Americans might wonder why so much money is going for one little demographic in a world of infinite choice.
Kimberly.
Yeah. So Trump has defunded PBS and NPR, which, listen, I completely agree. Us taxpayers should not have to fund propaganda. They can fund themselves if they want to talk crap about Uncle Trump and conservatives. By all means, that is their right? Freedom of speech. I stand on that, but we aren't going to pay for it. We don't need to be giving them money. If you're going to do that, then make your own money. But of course, the left, they're absolutely losing their minds over this.
Jonathan, what do you make of the president's moves at this time? Not just about PBS. This is not just about us. It's part of a larger campaign here.
Right. But I think what the president is doing, it is a fundamental attack on our Constitution, on the foundation of this country. People need to understand and remember there is only one profession that is protected in the Constitution, and it is the free press. It is the press. And why? Because the founders understood that the survival of a democracy depends on an informed citizenry. And the citizenry can only be informed by a press that can report and report on the affairs of the republic free and unfettered. And whether they are, come from the left or from the right, the government should not interfere with that reporting. And so when you have a president of the United States who is making it his mission to attack the free press, we should all be concerned, whether we are at PBS or whether we are at MSNBC, because he's focused on us too.
Well, I know we'll all continue to do our work without fear or favor.
He said the government shouldn't interfere. And that is exactly what Uncle Trump is trying to do. He doesn't want any government interference in PBS or NPR. So he's pulling the money out. So there's no government connection interference. But of course they hate it. And of course, he's not stopping anybody from freedom of speech. You guys can say whatever you want to. You're just not going to get our tax dollars to do it. You can still say whatever, okay? If what you have to say is so great, then stand on your own 2 feet. Why do you need our tax dollars to do that? I thought you just said you don't want government interference. Goodness gracious. Man, oh man. But that's not the end of it.
What do we make of this?
I brought props with you
I
today,
love a
Deanna.
prop.
I went ahead and read the entire law for you, the 1967 Public Broadcasting Act. There is nothing in this law that gives any president the ability to strip away the funding for PBS and NPR. Congress was really specific back 50 plus years ago. They wanted to create an entity that was free of government control. They wanted to make sure no president could ever pressure PBS or NPR. So this is going to be a legal fight, like so many others that we've seen. And I suspect President Trump probably wants it that way.
He definitely does.
Look at the statement that we've received this morning from the head of PBS, Paula Kruger. She says this is a blatantly unlawful move overnight by President Trump. She says this is going to hurt people around the country because it threatens our ability to serve the American public with educational programming. The lie at the end is key. We are currently exploring all options to allow PBS to continue. NPR is saying the exact same thing. Now, we know that President Trump was already planning on sending a rescission package to Congress, trying to claw back the next 2 years of funding for PBS and NPR. That's already in the works. It seems to me he wants to have a fight very publicly with these networks, and he may well get one.
Yeah.
Good, and I agree with it, right? These folks keep saying, well, he's stopping the free press. How is he stopping the free press? Is he shutting down NPR or PBS? No. He's just taking taxpayer funds away. And if you can't stand on your own 2 feet, maybe that says your product is shit. Excuse my language, but that's just facts. If you can't stand on your own 2 feet without being subsidized by the taxpayer, maybe your product is garbage. Have you ever considered that? Just asking. I'm just asking. And the fact that these folks continue to try to say that they aren't biased, that's complete baloney. What? Even Bill Maher went on his show and admitted, that's a load of crap. Check it out.
The heads of NPR and PBS testified before Congress this week amid accusations of liberal bias. Should the government continue to send taxpayer dollars to public broadcasters? Well, a little background here. I mean, they've been after them the Republicans have wanted to get rid of PBS for as long as I can remember. This crowd will probably do it. I mean, I also read my namesake, Catherine Marr, was head of NPR, and, she said, we're completely unbiased. Give me a break, lady. I mean, they're crazy far left. So, I mean, I think we're past the age, really, where the government, first of all, why do we need to subsidize? Why can't we have outlets like this? And we're so polarized. These outlets became popular at a time when Republicans and Democrats didn't hate each other and weren't at each other's throats and didn't think each other was an existential threat. In that world, you can't have places like this, I think, anymore. They have to be private.
So even liberal Bill Maher has admitted, first off, they're completely biased. They're far left. But also, second, why do we need to subsidize them? That's just crazy. They need to be private businesses. And I 1,000% agree. But of course, when you start taking away Democrats' gravy train, because they've been stuffing them pockets, you know what I'm saying? They've been stuffing them pockets. They all start crying about it. Oh my goodness, Trump dictator, Trump bad, Trump is attacking us, right? They use these words that make no sense. Attacking you? Wait, what? How is he attacking you? By taking taxpayer funds away? How is that attacking you? Getting rid of the free press? How is he getting rid of the free press? By taking taxpayer funds away? Can you not stand on your own 2 feet? And if you can't, well, maybe that says something about your product. Duh. Stand on your own 2 feet, just like the rest of us, and go on about your business. If you want to bash Trump and conservatives, by all means, you go ahead and you do it. But you're not going to do it on our dime anymore. And that's that. But let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Why or why not? Talk to me. Peace and love. I'm out.